Well, it's a new day, and my ice cream base has been in the fridge since yesterday afternoon. It's a little less backlit today. It's a little dark and dreary out, um, but I'm now ready to actually make the ice cream. So I've poured the ice cream base into this wonderful 8-cup batter container, perfect pouring spout to get into the machine, and I've stirred a couple of teaspoons of vanilla into it. Um, it still tastes quite similar to a regular ice cream base, but I decided against putting in any extra sugar, extra brown sugar into it. I think we're experimenting quite enough just by putting lemon bars into the ice cream. So I'm going to take the frozen bowl out of the freezer, and I want to do that really quickly because what this is it's filled with a coolant gel, sort of like you'd have in an ice pack for a first aid kit. And the second you take it out of the freezer, I mean, it's not like it's going to melt in the first couple of minutes, but you really want this to be as frozen as it can be, because what it does is it spins around. You've got this paddle in it, and so it takes ice cream away from the side of the frozen bowl into the center and puts new ice cream base in the center. So you're always freezing tiny amounts of liquid, but not freezing it in such a way that it gets, rock solid hard. Instead, you get these tiny little ice crystals that give the ice cream its creamy texture. So it's frozen, but it's not an ice cube. All right, so I've put the top on, I've opened the spout, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the choice of ice cream. This maker either will give you ice cream, gelato, or sorbet, so I'm choosing ice cream, which sets it to 25 minutes. I'm pressing start, and as soon as I press start, I'm going to hold on to the spatula, make sure it doesn't come flying out, and I'm going to start pouring. So the ice cream base is now already being churned. You can hear the motor whirring. And I'll come back and give you a little bit of a close-up of what that looks like. So with the lighting and my low-tech laptop setup here, you're not really going to be able to see much, but what I wanted to show you is it's the bowl that is whirring around here. The paddle is stationary, and so what you have is a bowl full of ice cream base rotating around the paddle, which kind of scrapes it away from the sides so that no specific amount of base is getting more frozen than any other. So it scrapes the newly frozen crystals away from the sides, brings them into the center so that new portions of the base can go against the sides and start to crystallize. So this goes for 25 minutes. I'll come back in 10-15 minutes, and what you'll see is that the ice cream is really increased in volume and is starting to get that soft serve texture. Well, it's not been 15 minutes yet. It's been actually 3 minutes. But I thought, while we're waiting for the ice cream to really get underway, how about I crumble up some of these lemon bars, because that's what's going to be going into the ice cream. And one of the things about an add-in to ice cream, whether it's brownies or cookie crumbles or whatever, you just need a cup's worth to go into this quart and a half of ice cream. So what that means is I made this pan of lemon bars yesterday, and you can see there's a bunch of it that's missing already. So, why crumbles? Because, well, you've had, cookie dough ice cream and other ice creams. You don't want a frozen cookie inside the ice cream. You want crumbs. And they don't have to be teeny tiny crumbs, but you want some crumbs. So I'm going to do this until I have about a cup, and then I'm going to put it into a small bowl, and I'll put the bowl in the freezer. I'm going to put the bowl in the freezer because, again, anything you actually put into the ice cream, you want to be as cold as possible. And this is not actually going to get churned into the ice cream. What's going to happen, what you'll see, is that when the ice cream is done churning, I'm going to layer some of it into my ice cream container, And then I'm going to layer some of these crumbs. I'm going to layer some more ice cream, layer some more of these crumbs, so that then when you scoop the ice cream, you get some of the lemon bar into the ice cream. So I'm going to try to get a good amount of crust in here because, just like when you have cookie crumbles, you want some of the pastry. Also going to try to get, obviously, a lot of this lemon filling because the point of this is to have the flavor not just of pastry, but of a wonderful tart lemon curd. While I'm doing this, should also point out, as you know, there are many things in this experiment that were a question for me, what's going to go wrong here. And so far, fortunately, nothing has gone wrong. But the next question I have is, how's the lemon going to interact with the ice cream? I've made lemon sorbet before, but that's not a dairy thing. That's sugar water with lemon in it. It's like frozen lemonade. But if you were making buttermilk, you might put some lemon juice into the milk. Acid, like lemon or vinegar, curdles dairy. So, my next question is, are we going to have a nice lemon bar crumble in this brown sugar vanilla ice cream, or will I have inadvertently made something that's like frozen lemony cottage cheese, frozen lemony buttermilk, which it's not really what I'm looking for. So time will tell on that. Meanwhile, I'm going to finish crumbling these up and wash the sticky lemon off my hands, and then I'll be back with more. Now it's been about 10 minutes since I first started churning this, and from this angle it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see there's kind of a swell of ice cream or soft serve coming up in the center here. What you've got there is you've got the ice cream bit by bit becoming frozen and crystallized, and now so it swells up over and around the paddle as the bowl churns around it. So we're not quite at the final stage yet, but we're past the complete liquid dairy base that I put into the churner. And you can also see that it is just a little bit darker than your standard vanilla ice cream. It's got a lovely kind of tan beige color, and that's the impact of the brown sugar in the ice cream base. There's about 1 minute left on the ice cream maker, so I've just taken the lemon bar crumbles out of the freezer. You want these to be super cold when you put them into the ice cream, because you just don't want anything that's going to take coolness away from the ice cream itself. It's not that if these were room temperature lemon bars, the ice cream would melt. It's just, you don't want to risk any kind of melting, even with the little bit of xanthan gum we've got in here. You've probably had ice cream that's melted and then refrozen and melted and refrozen, and it just gets that terrible grainy taste. So the ice cream machine, as you've heard, just beeped, so I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to start spooning the ice cream into this. You just saw that I put one container into another. It's a double insulated plastic container that goes in the freezer. It really keeps the ice cream super cold. So let's turn this off. All right, now I don't have to shout. And I'm going to take the top off. And the first thing I do is I take the paddle out, and you can see, this thick, not quite ice cream, but a little bit thicker than soft serve, is just clinging to the spaces in the paddle. You'll remember when I put this in that it was completely liquid. So we've got some frozen ice cream on the way here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon a full good layer into the receptacle here, and then I'm going to put a little layer of crumbles on it, another layer, keep on going until I've used up all of the ice cream, and all of the crumbles. So excuse me for a minute while I do that, and then when it's all done, I'll show you. So I've put 2 layers of ice cream and 2 layers of lemon bars in here. And once again, things are looking good. You know, so far the lemon has not curdled the dairy at all. I think we're going to have ice cream, not something completely disgusting. And I actually took a little spoonful of the ice cream. You can see it's pretty much cleaned out, but there are a couple of little remnants in here. So I took a little bit of a spoonful of the ice cream and put a little lemon bar on top. See what it's like. And so far, so good. Funny thing is, you can actually taste the brown sugar a little bit better in the frozen product than you could in the base, which is odd because, you know, usually freezing it and churning it, you put some extra air in there, the flavor's a little bit more subtle. In this case, it's not that it's overpowering, but it is a very, very clear undercurrent. So this is going to go into the freezer overnight. I mean, it really needs like 4 to 6 hours before it gets out of soft serve. It's about 5:30 now. I'm not going to stay up till midnight in order to have ice cream. So I'll try this tomorrow, lunchtime or so, and I'll share it with you, give you the final verdict. You know, it seems like it takes a lot of advanced planning, right? Because you have to have the frozen bowl frozen. You have to make the base a day in advance. You have to churn it. You have to freeze the ice cream. I mean, it's a 3-day process. I always keep my frozen bowl in the freezer when I'm not using it. You know, you never want to start making ice cream and then think, whoops, you know, my frozen bowl is room temperature. So, you know, you just got to schedule these things a little bit, but it is really, really worth it. And frankly, it pays for itself. I mean, I haven't bought ice cream at the store since December, and you know, in a manner of speaking, I'm making money off of my ice cream machine. So highly, highly recommend it. Well, the ice cream has been in the freezer for not just 24 hours, but actually for several days, 3 or 4, I think. You know, I've just had actually some really large, fulfilling meals where I haven't wanted to have dessert afterwards. But it's a Saturday afternoon now, and perfect time to relax and have a nice bowl of ice cream. So let's take a look. So you can see in here we've got the lemon bars scattered on top, nice creamy look of the ice cream itself. I'm using just a regular spoon rather than an ice cream scoop. I mean, this does get pretty frozen, but, you know, not impossible to scoop out. I keep the ice cream container in the back of the freezer, so it really, really gets cold. But you know, also you don't get a lot of air circulating around here in this sealed container, particularly when it's full to the brim. Usually the ice cream never gets super soft, but it gets just a little bit softer after you've had the first couple of servings, and then, you know, there's a little bit more air circulating. So here's the bowl of ice cream. And it's got a sort of lovely tan color to it, like we talked about with the brown sugar in it. And it's great. I mean, it's got a little bit of the crumble from the pastry. It has a subtle lemon taste. It doesn't, you know, kick you in the face with lemon curd like the lemon bars themselves can sometimes do. So overall, it's a win. You know, I wasn't sure how it would go when I started the experiment, but that's why you experiment. And when it works out well, it's really satisfying. So hope you had fun watching. I certainly had fun making it and exploring it, and now I'm going to have some fun eating it.